You guys might have to bear with me a little bit on this one. I have a slope in my floor here from a drain, so my bar is trying to roll away from me. So it might get a little funky. I might have to adjust things. Either way, this video is for a sumo deadlift. So you may have watched a video before where we do a conventional deadlift, where our feet are about shoulder width, hands grabbing our bar. I'm not going to go through all the details, but just standing straight up from that position. The difference here is the foot position that we use. So for a sumo deadlift, rather than having that narrower stance shoulder width, we're going to go wide. And if you're like me, you're going to risk, come on, just stay still, please. You're going to risk the life of your toes doing this. Obviously, right now, I'm holding this bar from rolling away from me with my toes, so don't put your toes this far out. But we take this wider stance because it drives more hip and glute engagement. And if you're a power lifter, it shortens the range of motion that you have to lift the weight, and it's cheating. I didn't say that, though. It does allow you to lift a little bit more weight more efficiently. I know I can sumo deadlift a lot more than I can conventional. So if you're on an ego trip, it's a great movement for you. But the reason for it really is more just for different people's limb lengths and kind of accommodating that to make the same motion that may be problematic for them in a different position, just more, what's the word? Shit. Guess we're taking it from the top. What's up, guys? I'm standing in a funky position right now because I'm holding this bar from rolling away from me because there's a slope in my floor. But conveniently enough, this is also the position approximately that you need to be in for a sumo deadlift, which is what this video is about. So, sumo deadlift, you guys may have seen the video before where I do a conventional deadlift. It is with my stance fairly narrow, feet about shoulder width, and just picking the weight up off the floor to standing up straight. This is the same idea. It's just a wider stance that allows it to be accommodated for people with different limb lengths and different kind of physiology, right? And so, biomechanics, not physiology. Different biomechanics, we'll say that. Number one tip here is don't actually put your toes under the plate like I am. Again, this is just a holding position so I can talk to you before I start the video. That being said, though, it's not a whole lot different from that. I'm going to use my knurling or non-knurling rings on the bar to kind of gauge my width to make sure that I'm standing kind of center on the bar. I'm going to reach down at shoulder width, grip my bar right in a natural feeling position, right? I don't want to be too close, but I don't want to be too far out here either. I just think straight down. Now, I will have to adjust the angle that I'm standing so you guys can see my back position. But this is the stance from the front, just so you get a better idea of what you're looking for here. And all we're doing, guys, driving the feet down and out into the ground, getting my big deep breath, locking in to brace my core, and then I'm pushing the ground down away from me and standing straight up. I'm locked down, I'm pushing my butt forward, kind of squeezing my glutes as tight as I can. And now to go down, I drop my hips back. We always hinge first in a squat, or in this case a deadlift. Back down to the floor. And again, big breath. I'm taking the tension out of the bar. Right, pull my shoulder blades down and back. Drive the floor down away from me. Boom, I'm at the top. Always be careful setting the weight back down. If you have long legs like me, you are at risk for smashing your toes. I have done it. I'm going to rotate so you guys can kind of see my back position on that. So, as always, with our deadlift, with our compound movements, stop. Just stay. We're taking a big deep breath. Locking this in, right? Stacking the cylinders like we always talk about. Tension through the midsection, and then taking the tension out of the bar, meaning I'm locking the shoulder blades in place so that I can't, it's not that rounding over position is bad, but if you don't have tension in the muscles, it can be dangerous. That's where you're going to get injured whenever you're not using appropriate tensions to lift heavy weight. So, my feet are in position. I'm hinging back, right? Hips drop back. You bend the knees a little bit. I'm sticking my butt out like I'm twerking. I'm not. Gripping my bar. Now look at my back position, guys. I'm bringing my shoulder blades down and back, locking that in tight, driving my knees and my toes outward. And I get my last big breath. I squeeze tight, push the ground down away from me, lock the hips out the top. And then hinging, letting that bar drag down past my legs, or past my knees rather, and back to the floor. So big breath, knees out, boom, locked out, hinge, down to the floor. I'm not going to go any further because I will get into the weeds too much. That is a barbell sumo deadlift.